Welcome to the goldsilver.com Knowledge Center webinar, Dreaming the Same Dream. My name is Lee Greenberg, and I will be your investor and guide. The goldsilver.com company vision is saving the world one investor at a time. Today, the Knowledge Center agenda includes the first and second United States Central Bank, the Federal Reserve Bank, the outlaw in 1933 of the gold certificate, 1964 coinage debasement, Nixon shock, dreaming the same dream, and we will close with contact information. The Constitution of the United States of America provides that the United States Congress shall have the power to coin money. Since 1913, everyone in the United States has been living under an economic system overseen by the Federal Reserve Bank. No living American has ever lived through a default of the U.S. dollar. Because yesterday, and for almost the past century, our dollar-based economic system has worked, we have an imaginary agreement and belief that tomorrow will be the same. This belief is the same as a dream, and in this case, the dream is that the dollar is a stable form of currency. We are all dreaming the same dream. There have been 3 U.S. central banks. The purpose was to establish a mint, to establish an excise tax, to create financial order, to create credit, both domestic and international, and to resolve previously issued fiat currency. The term fiat is Latin for let it be done, meaning the currency was issued by government decree and is simply a promissory note backed by nothing. The first Bank of the United States was chartered by the U.S. Congress in 1791 under President George Washington and was created to handle the financial needs and requirements of the central government of the newly formed United States. There had previously been 13 individual states with their own banks, currencies, financial institutions, and policies. Its charter expired after 20 years. The second Bank of the United States was established in 1816 and lost its authority to be the central bank of the United States 20 years later under President Jackson, when its charter expired. Both banks were based upon the Bank of England in the role of lender of last resort. Ultimately, a third national bank, known as the Federal Reserve Bank, was established in 1913. The main motivation for the third central banking system came from the Panic of 1907, which caused renewed demands for banking and currency reform, similar to the demands for banking reform that we see today. The purpose of the Federal Reserve Bank, the central bank of the United States, is to provide the nation with a safe, flexible, and stable monetary and financial system. How is that working out? A gold certificate is a certificate of ownership that gold owners hold instead of storing the actual gold. Prior to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, the dollar was such a certificate. When the United States was taken off the gold standard in 1933, gold certificates were withdrawn from circulation. The United States paper currency no longer read gold certificate, it now read Federal Reserve note. With the Federal Reserve printing money, you could no longer redeem your dollar for physical gold and silver. In the early 1960s, the silver supply available to the U.S. Mint for coins was dwindling rapidly, and the price for silver was increasingly dramatically. This set the stage for the complete elimination of silver from our coinage by the end of 1964. Any United States dime, quarter, half dollar, or dollar that is dated 1964 or earlier was made of 90% silver. After 1964, there was no more intrinsic value to the U.S. coins. The coins in your pocket no longer had any value. By the early 1970s, the cost of the Vietnam War and increased domestic spending accelerated inflation. Holders of the U.S. dollar lost faith in the U.S. government's ability to cut its budget and trade deficits. Due to the excess printed dollars and the negative U.S. trade balance, nations began demanding fulfillment of America's promise to pay, that is, the redemption of their dollars for gold. France, in particular, repeatedly made aggressive demands and acquired $190 million in gold, further depleting the gold reserves of the United States. To stabilize the economy and combat inflation, on August 15, 1971, President Nixon imposed a 90-day wage and price freeze, a 10% import surcharge, and most importantly, closed the gold window, which meant the U.S. dollar could no longer be redeemed for gold. Because President Nixon made that decision without consulting the members of the international monetary system, The international community informally named it the Nixon shock. Your dollar could no longer be exchanged for gold. It was said by Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman after the post-Nixon shock era, quote, "The current world monetary system assigns no special role to gold. Indeed, the Federal Reserve is not obligated to tie the dollar to anything. It can print as much or as little money as deemed appropriate." Our economic system has no backing. We have all lived together for this last century, believing the U.S. paper dollar and metal coins are safe, flexible, and stable. They are not. We are dreaming the same dream, that since our economic system worked yesterday, that it will work just as well tomorrow. Once we all wake up, the dream will end. We at goldsilver.com feel that you can protect your hard-earned wealth and your future by investing in physical gold and silver. And we carry only the most recognizable mint hallmarks: the U.S. Mint, the Canadian Mint, the Austrian Mint, Credit Suisse, and Johnson Matthey. Our newest website is wealthcycles.com, a financial education-based website on cycles investing. Wealth Cycles' mission is to empower individuals with knowledge and understanding of economic wealth cycles, enabling them to ensure and secure a financial future for themselves and their families. If you have any questions or would like more information, please visit our website at www.goldsilver.com. You can email us at support@goldsilver.com or call us at 888-319-8166. This is Lee Greenberg saying thank you for your time.